Guys, it's finally time to talk about it. UFC Fight Night in Orlando. Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland. What an event. What an event. Crazy event. I went there. I took a whole ass train to get there. Went with some family. Drove even more from their house to actually get to the stadium. Made it just in time for Nathan Levy, which is who I wanted to watch first. From then it was just nonstop action. Well, actually, Angela Hill and Ducote. That's when we went to get some hot dogs and some hamburgers. But other than that, incredible fight, incredible fights is what I mean. Crazy card, crazy fights, so many wars, a lot of veterans, a lot of the new age fighters, just all around very well rounded card, very action packed. It had its moments. It had its moments where it wasn't super exciting, and it had its moments where the crowd was entirely lit up. Just an amazing card all around, and an amazing experience as well because what happened for the Angela Hill fight? A lot of people left to get food, and after the first round, I was kind of like, yeah, you should probably go get food. So we got in the line, and they ran out of French fries, right? Because we ordered French fries, and then instead of French fries, I just got a second hot dog. They gave me a second hot dog, so fire. But yeah, enough about that. It's time to talk about the actual card itself. This is the review of UFC Orlando, Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland. Man, this card surprised me, completely surpassed my expectations. Incredible card. But we're gonna move into the first fight of the night. This was Yasmin Jauregui. I wasn't in the arena when this fight happened. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Jauregui versus Estela Nunes. If I were to bet on anyone, I would have bet on the girl whose last name is Nunes, obviously. But it looks like she lost this fight by second round TKO. No takedowns, no wrestling at all. Just pretty much one-sided action from Joregui. I'm not gonna try to say her name. From Yasmin, that ended up in a round two TKO or KO with just a minute left in the fight. If we look at her record, she's a perfect 10-0, completely undefeated. She's got 2 fights in the UFC, two impressive wins this year. So I can't wait to see where she goes next in her career. Okay, next we got Marcelo Rojo versus Francis Marshall. And you can see here another second round KO slash TKO. This time they were a minute into the second round, not a minute left in the second round. Francis Marshall was able to get a takedown. He was behind on the total strikes as he was pretty behind in the fight from the start. Watching the playbacks, at least that's what I seen. But he was able to make a slight comeback and was able to get a finish in the end. He's now sitting at a perfect 7-0. Francis Francis Marshall. That's cool. If we go down, this was his debut. I forgot this was his debut. Right, made his debut in Orlando, Florida. Is he from Orlando? Brick Township. I don't know where that is, but he's a young guy, young promising guy. Made his debut just 2 days ago. This is Monday today. So yeah, I can't wait to see where he goes next in his career. It's gonna be exciting. And this is the first fight that I saw when I actually got there, because we got there a little bit late because of the traffic. There were a lot of crashes, a lot of ambulances in our way. So it's all good. It was a very fun fight. This fight, it was pretty close from round 1 to round 3. Not pretty close. It was like fairly close at times, but it was clear that Nathan Levy had gotten the most out of many of the exchanges. He had got more knockdowns, obviously. Knockdowns? 0 knockdowns? Oh no, I meant takedowns. Yeah, takedowns. Because he got the takedowns and he got a lot of the control time, and he was getting the better of the striking. Obviously, if you look at the differentials, yeah, it was pretty clear watching in person that Nathan Levy should have been able to take home some kind of decision. Now he's sitting at 8-1. He's now had 3 fights in the UFC. Yep, he is 2-1 in the UFC, 2-fight winning streak right now. And yeah, I can't wait to see where he goes next. But obviously, for a guy like Renato Valdez, who hadn't fought in a year, it was very clear in the first round, especially that ring rust was definitely there. I mean, watching in a person, you could tell like, yeah, he wasn't really in it entirely, but as the rounds went on, as the minutes and the fight went on, you could tell like, yeah, he got it back. It was just that first round he was faulty, and he ended up losing that decision, but it's all good. Round one was on Nathan. Round two, he definitely came back. I remember this, like, me and my uncle were sitting next to each other, like, Renato Valdez might have actually won that round. But yeah, the control time for this one too, especially was, I mean, it was too much to say that Renato Valdez won the fight. Like, Nathan Levy definitely took that fight, and convincingly he did it. I can't wait to see where he goes next in his career. Now we move on to. Oh wait, I actually gotta show my bet for this fight. Look, I bet it perfectly. Levy by decision. Got 75 points for that. Easy. Let's go. Darren Elkins versus Jonathan Pierce. JSP was able to take that win very dominantly. 30-27, easy. I mean, if you just look at this, it was very, very obvious who won that fight. I mean, Darren Elkins was bloodied up, bro. My uncle even told me after the fight, is like, you gotta add a D at the end of his nickname. You gotta call him the damaged. So I mean, it was true. But Darren Elkins really, for an older guy, for a veteran, for a guy that being at an age where many people will retire, or at a point in their career where many people will retire, Darren Elkins continues to fight on, and he was a warrior, bro. Like, he kept going. One of the Floridian guys came in, checked his cuts. He's like, it was not even 2 seconds. Looked at it, wiped off his face. He's like, yeah, you're good. Keep going. And the whole crowd erupted. Like, oh my God. That crowd was electric. They was a good crowd. We even made friends with like a couple of drunk guys sitting next to us. Like, it was awesome. But JSP was able to get that win. He's now sitting at a 14-4 record. He is won how many fights in a row? He is on. Looks like he's on a 5-fight winning streak. I think he lost the fight with Joe Lazon. If I remember correctly, he did lose this fight with Joe Lazon. Yeah, Joe Lazon knocked him out. So, obviously, big setback, very big setback. Joe Lazon has been in this game for a while, obviously. So for that to be your debut, I guess it's somewhat tricky, but Joe Lazon is also way out of his prime. He also never really reached super high potential in the UFC. So, obviously, this loss in the first round by knockout, it's going to set you back, but he was able to make his way back. Second round knockout, submission, decision, knockout, and a win over Darren Elkins. Yeah, he's definitely showed that he can come back from that adversity or from any setback. I also really like his tattoo. I see a lot of people saying online that they don't like his tattoo, but as a wrestler myself, it's a very nice tattoo. I like this tattoo. It's got the red and the green. It's like, oh, it's like those competition mats. But yeah, good win for Jonathan Pierce. Did I guess it correctly? I did. I guess that Pierce would win, but I thought he would implement some kind of submission. I just felt like that's how the fight would have gone. Obviously, that didn't happen, so I only was able to get 50 points for guessing the person and not the weight or the round. And obviously, here we got Michael Johnson versus Mark Jacasey. I finally know how to say his name. It's Mark Jacasey. And very fun fight. Not as fun as like some of the previous ones, but it was a decent fight. I mean, I enjoyed it. And obviously, it was kind of split between me and my uncle. Like, yeah, like my uncle was going for for Jacasey, and I was going for Michael Johnson, cause I had bet for the veteran in the last one. Then he had bet for Jonathan Pierce. So I bet for the veteran again, and he said, "Nah, I got the younger guy." So I was trying to get Michael Johnson to win this one. I don't think I put my bet on him though, did I? No, I did. Okay, yeah, Johnson decision. Cause I remember I was super torn between who would win this fight, because I thought it could go either way, but I have full belief in Johnson. I was able to get the prediction right, the round, how he did it. I was able to get the fighter, everything. So Michael Johnson now sitting at, I think it's 22 and 18. 22 and 18. Truly one of the fighters of all time. 22 and 18 record. I mean, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, he should be on a 3-fight winning streak right now. I mean, I think he should have won this fight with Malarkey. But honestly, it is what it is. He's doing good for himself. How is he? 36. He's still got some time left, realistically. If he wanted to keep going, he could for a few years, maybe. So, I'm really excited to see Michael Johnson fight next. You know, he's fun to watch, obviously. I'll definitely be watching his next fight. And now we move on to... He was also the underdog here, which is pretty interesting. Now we move on to Clay Guida versus Scott Holtzman. And Scott Holtzman actually retired after this fight. You know, they were both... I thought Scott Holtzman, it was one of, like, the previous 2 fights where it was, like, the veteran versus the younger guy. But Scott Holtzman is actually pretty old, too. Like, it was... Clay Guida was the oldest guy in the card. Scott Holtzman was the second oldest. You know, Guida was 40 years old, and Scott Holtzman was 39. He definitely retired after the fight. He threw his gloves onto the ground, signifies retirement. And I remember at the weigh-ins, Clay Guida gave his son, like, I was watching the ceremonial weigh-ins, like, did he give him hot sauce? And I completely forgot, like, yeah, Scott Holtzman, his nickname is Hot Sauce. So then it all made sense to me. He's like, Clay Guida, weird guy for giving the child some hot sauce, but nah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Lovely guy, lovely fight. I mean, it was really nice to watch that fight. Split decision too, so like the tension was in the air. I mean, I have so many videos from like the close decisions and all that. Yeah, the Carpenter Clay Guida. Which one is this? This is 57th fight. 3 more fights to 60. Do you think he actually does 60 fights, or you think he retires before that? Up to him, honestly. Came off of a loss from Claudio Puelles, which, I mean, big setback. Loss did not age well at all, but it's all good because he really showed him that he was a warrior in this fight against Scott Holtzman. Somewhat even in the strike department, but in the takedowns, it was mostly Clay Guida. He did definitely have some of more of the control there. But it was definitely close. Like, me and my uncle, we were unsure, like, of who won. But we thought Clay Guida might have slightly edged it out. So, fun fight. And I can't wait to see Clay Guida fight again. And happy retirement to Scott Holtzman, honestly. But Angela Hill versus Emily Ducote. Man, I did not watch this fight. I watched the first round, and that was kind of it. Nothing much happened. Kind of uneventful. As the rounds went on, just got more and more dominant for Overkill Hill. Still a badass nickname, I can't lie. But yeah, she is number 13 as of Monday. Tomorrow, so Tuesday's tomorrow, that's when all the rankings are going to get updated. Maybe I should have done the review on that day, but I'm trying to get it out, you know. I didn't post yesterday on Sunday. I was going to have I was going to post about the Slim fight, but now 3 more fights got announced, and I'm going to make another video about that. It might come out tomorrow instead. So yeah, by the looks of this, it looks like, yeah, it was an eventful fight, but not really, honestly. Strikes weren't super duper significant either. That's just like from what I saw from the stands, at least in the first round. In the first round, I mean, even then, she got 50 significant strikes. Like, yeah, I don't know, but congratulations to Overkill Hill. She obviously, her record was not very good. She now sits at a 15-12 record, which is slightly better. Angela Hill, she's number 12. I think she was number 13 before. I don't know. Maybe they updated the rankings already. You think they did? Let me check just to make sure. But yeah, she's coming off of a win actually over Godinez in August 13th. Ooh, my bad. I think I remember this fight. I'm not sure. I forgot which card it was on. I think it was on the Cheeto Cruz card. But I didn't watch the whole thing. I think I just watched the ending because I was just trying to get to the first few fights, or the last few fights, I guess. But yeah, definitely nice because she was able to come back from a 3-fight losing streak, and now she's on a 2-fight winning streak. and one of them was against a ranked opponent. So good for her. I'm happy. Let me check the rankings. You think any of them got updated? No, they're all the same. Okay, yeah, they get updated tomorrow. And good win for Angela Hill. For Clay Guida, I was able to get that decision pick of again. But I had Ducote winning, honestly. But obviously she didn't get that. And that kind of started this whole, Yeah, it is what it is. But we're going to get into that Nico Price versus Phil Rowe. I don't care that Nico Price lost, honestly. I was kind of rooting for him. But the thing is, this was such an entertaining fight, such an amazing fight. So incredible to watch. The crowd was crazy for this one. I mean, wow. I mean, it was a good one. It was definitely a good one. Especially since a lot of the ones previous were, besides these first two that I actually ended up missing, they were all decisions, even though most of them were pretty eventful decisions. This is the first one where the crowd was like truly in awe because Nico Price was winning this fight at first. I mean, this was when I was getting back from the hot dogs and my uncle went to the bathroom, so I was just watching from like the inside thing, like from the tunnel, and I was just watching Nico Price brutalize him. It was like, yeah, he's probably gonna get that. Then as it went on, I forgot what happened in the second round. It was pretty eventful either way, but then the third round was really when it started to change, bro, because Nico Price had his moment, and then Phil Rowe had his moment, and it was a crazier moment. And then as the combinations kept piling up, you could just tell, like, yeah, Nico, this fight has got to be called off. And yeah, I mean, it was a crazy fight, very fun fight. Phil Rowe now stands at a 10-3 record, perfect 100% finish rate. And yeah, actually the favorite in the crowd was Phil Rowe. There were a lot of guys like next to me that were rooting for Nico Price, but the crowd was mainly a Phil Rowe crowd, and that's probably why they got like so hyped up at the end there. But yeah, he was coming off of a win against I forgot his first name, that's my bad. But I think he's on a winning streak, right? Yeah, he's on a 3-fight winning streak. They're all by knockout. It's pretty impressive what he's been able to accomplish with a 100% finish rate right now in his career. It's like, can't wait to see what the Fresh Prince does next. And welterweight right now, it's exciting. It's one of the, in my opinion right now, top 3 division in this current state of the UFC. I mean, so competitive from the rankings to the people who aren't ranked. It's just so many. It's such a packed division, just all around. So many incredible fighters. I love it so much. So yeah, that was the feature prelim bout. I had Price winning by decision. I thought it was gonna be probably fight of the night, and Nico Price was gonna be able to edge out maybe a 29-28 decision. That was my prediction. Obviously, it didn't happen. Happy for Phil Rowe. Incredible fight. And now we move on to Eric Anders and Kyle Dawkins. Now, here's the thing. My uncle who didn't do any research on these guys, he looked at Eric Anders. He looked at Kyle Dawkins. He said, Eric Anders is going to beat that dude's ass. I told him, nah, I don't think so. Kyle Dawkins, before this fight, he was I think he was 11-13. No, he was 11-3. 11-3. That's my bad. He was 11-3, so I thought he's 11-3 for a reason. I looked into his wins. I thought, yeah, he's pretty impressive. I got him winning probably by submission. Maybe catch him in a bad spot and all that. But obviously that didn't happen. And Eric Anders was able to absolutely dominate him. I don't think Kyle Dawkins was ready for what Eric Anders was going to bring. I definitely wasn't. That was an incredible finish. Yeah, boy, Eric Anders moves to 15-7. I definitely underestimated him as someone who was maybe more washed up and was going to somehow lose his fight by way of, because he's lost decisions before. Or not decisions, submissions. But he's also been able to let fights slip away from him in decisions. Close decisions as well. So I thought, I wasn't too sure about his chances of winning, but he was able to get that win. I'm happy for him and all that. And I think my food is outside. Let me get that. That's my food. Hold up. The food's not here yet. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much first fight of the main card. Entertaining one. It was a good performance by Eric Anders. I can't wait to see what he does next. I can't wait to see where both of these guys go next. I hope Kalidakis doesn't take this fight too heavy on himself. I hope he manages to find some kind of comeback in the near future, because you just kind of feel bad for the guy in it. Did I just say in it? I'm fucking not British. The fuck. Okay, Jack Hermanson versus Roman Dolidze, and this is one of the fights on that card where it was like shit. It was just in the air like shit. I don't know what it was about this fight. It's just no, I know what it was about this fight. First of all, number 8 ranked middleweight versus unranked middleweight. And the thing about this fight was it's not Jack Hermanson versus Chris Curtis where it's like, oh yeah, there's a very high chance, Jack Hermanson, he's the ranked guy and Chris Curtis is the unranked guy. Jack Hermanson is way more experience, way bigger wins. The thing with Roman Dolidze is this guy is a stone cold, ice cold killer. This guy is insane. Bro. I'll just say it again. Okay, now he sits at, I think he's at 12-0 now. 12-1. I'm pretty sure he's at 12-1 right now. Bro, you just need to watch that fight with Phil Hawes. Just watch the fight with Phil Hawes. You'll see how much of a brutalizer Dolidze is. And that's kind of what happened in the near end of the Hermanson fight. He got Hermanson. It was a close fight at first. I think Hermanson won the first round, just slightly edged it out. And I thought, yeah, Hermanson's probably going to take it by decision. More experienced guy. So it was just a likely outcome. It was the politically correct prediction. But obviously Dolidze is not one to fuck around with. And he was able to get on top of Hermanson. He got a nasty calf slicer. I mean, the entire crowd was looking at that like, oh shit. Like, that does not feel pretty. That hurts like hell. And I haven't even been in one of those calf slicers, but I just know, like, that's painful. He didn't tap to the calf slicer either. And I think he was in a triangle choke as well. He got in a triangle and he was able to get out, Jack Hermanson. But yeah, then it was just ground and pound from there. And Jack Hermanson using his two hands to try to cover himself up and having one leg trapped, it was kind of just, he couldn't really get up. And Roman Dolidze just mounted him. All his weight on top of him. Hermanson couldn't get up, so the referee, all he had to do was stop the fight. That was the only thing left to do, realistically. So Roman Dolidze, he's gonna have a ranking tomorrow. I think that's very nice. I think it's time we saw. Well, not really time we saw, because we already saw a few with Duplessis and Chris Curtis, and now Roman Dolidze is like, there's so many new and exciting middleweight prospects. I'm very excited for where this division goes next. I'm very, very excited. And I'm excited to see where Dolidze goes next as well. And you know what's funny is there were these Georgian guys next to us, because Roman Dolidze is from the country of Georgia. So they had these two guys had the Georgian flags wrapped around them, and then over the stands they would put the Georgian flag up. And then and then before the fight of the Hermanson Dolidze fight, they just disappeared. They just disappeared. I was like, where did they go, bro? Like, I thought I was gonna celebrate Dolidze's win with them. So then Dolidze won, and they cut to those guys. They were in some other place, and then they had the flags up. I was like, oh my god, they got what they wanted. I was so happy for them in the end. I kind of wanted Roman Dolidze just to win because of that. Cause I don't know. It was a fun fight though. Fun viewing. He got performance of the night, which is obviously it's extra 50 G's, beat the number 8 guy, entering the top 10 tomorrow. It's like, this guy is winning, bro. Roman Dolidze is winning at life. You know who's not winning at life? Tai Tuivasa is not winning at life, and neither am I because he lost. Bro, my uncle. He's not my blood-related uncle. Like, I'm related to the aunt, which is his wife. I'm related to the aunt. So the uncle is Russian. And Pavlovich is Russian. And he took a quick look at Tuivasa and Pavlovich, and he told me, man, I'm sorry, but the Russian guy is doing it in under a minute. In 1 round in 10 seconds, he's doing it. And he was telling all the drunk guys next to him. The drunk guys agreed with him, like, yeah, this is a mismatch. This is all that. I thought, nah, Tuivasa is fucking Tuivasa. He'll find a fucking way. And this motorcycle is making loud noises outside of my house. But Tuivasa gonna find a way. He didn't find a way. Bro, if he had just landed one of those crazy overhand rights and like rocked Sergey Pavlovich, gained his respect in the striking department, maybe it would have lasted a little bit longer. Tai Tuivasa has good recovery, but Pavlovich is just a monster. This guy is a fucking killer. I don't get it. I don't know what's in his genetics. It's just that Russian in him, really. But after this loss to Overeem, bro became a fucking villain. First round. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 first round finishes in a row. I think he has the biggest knockout streak in the UFC right now. He also has the biggest first round knockout streak in the world right now. Like, this guy is just insane. He knocks out 260-pound guys just every other month. I don't get it. What, he had 3 fights this year, and he's just been on it, bro. He knocked out the 2 most likable heavyweights on the planet right now in the span of half a year. In the first round, both in under a minute. Like, jeez. In just 2 minutes, he's likely going to enter the top 3 of the heavyweights. Right now, I think he should. I think either, I don't know. I feel like 4th place isn't enough for him. I feel like tying 3rd with Curtis Blades makes a little bit more sense. See, the thing about Curtis Blades, he's coming off of win over Chris Daukaus, which is not a super crazy win. No offense. And then he's coming off of a win over Tom Aspinall, where Tom Aspinall just injured his knee. That's, Pavlovich is coming off of insane knockouts over insane knockout artists with some of the most knockouts in the UFC right now. And he even knocked out the guy who knocked out Curtis Blades. So what does that really say? I think what that says is Curtis Blades and Pavlovich tied at 3rd. I think that makes the most sense right now. I think Sergey Pavlovich is a danger to the top 3. Danger. I think he will pose serious trouble to Curtis Blades. Insane trouble to Stipe. He'll pose a crazy threat to Cirogan. And even to Francis Ngannou. That's how scary this guy is right now. 17-1. I mean, it's just insane, really. Absolutely crazy. I don't know. I don't really want to hop onto the hype train just yet. I don't want to hop onto the hype train at all. I'm not trying to betray Tuivasa or Derek Lewis like that. Pavlovich, he seems like a nice guy, honestly. From his post-fight interview and from some of the things I've seen from his social medias and all that, seems like a genuine dude. But it's not gonna take away what he took away from Tuivasa. And now, Mattheus Nicolau versus Matt Schnell, and kind of an eventful fight, honestly. From round 1, there wasn't really much going on. He did get a knockdown though. I mean, when Nicolau got that knockdown, I thought, shit, it's really over. But obviously, Matt Schnell was able to pull through, but he ended up losing in the 2nd round anyways. Oof, yeah, I don't know. Props to Nicolau. Damn, he got blue eyes. Very blue eyes. But props to him. Good win for Brazil and all that. nice performance, I guess. Somewhat boring before that, but you know, it is what it is. A win is a win. Fairly dominant as well, so good for him, and I can't wait to see where he goes next in the flyweight division, because now he's kind of put himself up there in the flyweight division as well. 19-3-1. Let's see. He's coming off of a win streak. Yeah. What is it? 4 fights? 4-fight win streak. And no, against Manel Cape, Tim Elliott, Dvorak. I forgot his first name. That's my bad. Dvorak and now Matt Schnell. That's quite the resume. Even if most of them split decision, unanimous decision. Even with that in mind, it's still impressive. Like the names he's got on his resume. And let me just look at the rankings real quick, because we got to look at flyweight. Yeah, Nicolau. I think after this win, he should go. I think he should at least pass Perez. I don't know about Royval yet. We're going to see after his fight. I think it's in December. Oh, no, I think he pulled out. Yeah, he pulled out of that fight. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We'll see where the UFC puts him next. David Dvorak. Yeah, my bad. David Dvorak. Yeah. But I want to see where he goes next, honestly. I want to see where they both go next. Match now. You know, I was rooting for you, but it's all good, honestly. You know, just one of those fights that was kind of fun to watch. And if you look at my prediction, this is the one that ended the whole losing streak. I had Tuivasa by round 1 KO'd, and he got round 1 KO'd. So it is what it is. Nicolau, I had him by decision, and it ended up being by knockout. So I got the few points either way. So let's see what it is. Brian Barberena versus RDA. Barberena, he was repping Colombia, bro. In his fight against Lawler, he was repping USA. It is what it is. In this fight, he was repping Colombia. From the hoodie, the walkout gear, to the pants. The yellow with the red, bro. It's that yellow with the red. He went full Colombiano for this one, man. But he just doesn't have... He had the striking for RDA. I'll give him that. He had the striking. But he didn't have the ground game for it. Well, let me tell you guys something. Watching this live, the entire stadium was just completely silent when Brian Barberena was stuck in that. I think it was like an arm triangle. But Brian Barberena, his entire face was just stuffed into RDA's arm, and he was able to get out of that. He got out of another choke before that as well. I mean, it was just Brian Barberena. He just got lungs, bro. I don't know what it is. He got crazy airspace in there, but he was just not submitting to those chokes. But he finally did in the second round. It was to a deep rear naked choke. I mean, he was in that one for a while, but then ultimately he had to tap because that's cutting a lot of blood to your brain and all that. Good win for RDA. I mean, that's just what happens when you fight the number 7 ranked lightweight in the world. It's expected. It's not a huge loss for Brian Barberena. If anything, he put on a very impressive showing. I think he makes a good name for himself after that. He's gonna get more recognition too. RDA sits at 32-14 now in his record, coming off of a knockout loss to Rafael Fiziev. I think it's Rafael Fiziev, because he's Rafael Dos Anjos. He's Rafael Fiziev. I don't know, but yeah, good comeback win for Dos Anjos. Called out McGregor afterwards. It was very fun. It was so funny because like the entire crowd. Let me tell you, RDA in front of how many thousands of people? He said like, I'm gonna wait for Conor to get off of whatever shit he's taking, and then we can have a fight at 170. The entire crowd went, oh. Nobody booed, nobody cheered. Everybody just like, oh shit. Cause I mean, I'm not gonna say why. You guys come up with that for yourselves, why they had such a reaction. Just like that. Ooh. Man, you just felt it. But yeah, that was the co-main event. Sad Colombia didn't get the win. Colombia is 0-2 in the past month, you know, because Julio Arce as well. But it's all good. We move. If not these guys, someone down the line's gonna get it. These guys gonna get their time as well. I just know it, man. But We look at. Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot to say Sergey Pavlovich got performance of the night as well. Deserved. He also asked for it in the post fight interview, which is funny. But fight of the night, and my God, bro. If you guys have been on this channel for the past few days, you know that this channel has just been Stephen Thompson's slander. Stephen Thompson slander. Will the loser retire? Yes, and it'll be Stephen Thompson who will retire. Stephen Thompson wants a third shot at the title. He will never get it. He's gonna lose this fight. He's gonna retire. Those are the things I said leading up to the fight. I had Kevin Holland by round 3 knockout, and oh my lord. Even after a year off, even after 2-fight losing streak, even after being 40 years old, even after being the underdog, even after having little to no love from the crowd, being there live, all the love was given to Kevin Holland. Everybody was kind of silent for Stephen Thompson, and I just felt bad at that point. Stephen Thompson was able to prove everybody fucking wrong. He was able to defy all the odds. He was able to prove me wrong, and my fucking God, he proved that he truly is a fighter. He's in this shit for a reason, dog. He fought for the title for a reason. He drew Woodley for a reason, bro. One of the greatest strikers in the UFC. One of the greatest strikers of all time. And you could tell, bro, you've been on the internet before this fight. Everybody's saying, some people say like, oh yeah, Stephen Thompson, my favorite striker. People say like, bro, we ain't living in the past. These are not these years no more. This is not Stephen Thompson's fight. He's out of his prime now. Bro, Stephen Thompson proved everybody the fuck wrong with this fight. And bro, it was such an amazing fight too. I mean, the crowd was crazy. The first round, I was kind of giving it to Holland. The second round, I was giving it more to Stephen Thompson, just because I wanted to keep it kind of even. But it was definitely a close round. But then round 3 was definitely for Stephen Thompson. He was just gaining and gaining and gaining. And they almost stopped the fight. Halfway through, they almost stopped the fight. Like, the referee waved it off, and then everybody was leaving the stadium. But then the referee, like, took back the wave off, because it was kind of an unclear wave off. So everybody came back to their seats after that. Or no, I don't think everybody came back, because the traffic to get out wasn't that bad. So I think a lot of those guys actually did leave. But yeah, just a crazy fight. They stopped it after the 4th round. Yeah, it's just, I didn't know. I don't remember it being this dominant, but yeah, it was slowly but surely getting just more and more, becoming more and more for Kevin Holland. Then his corner had to throw in the towel. Bro, his walkout song was actually fire. His walkout song, Ghost by Youngboy. And bro, I tweeted it out like, Kevin Holland walkout song, anyone? Someone gave it to me. It's like, I'm so happy for them for that, because I can't stop listening to this song. It's actually, shit slaps. But yeah, I think his haircut was cool too. A lot of people were saying like it looked dumb. I thought it was cool as fuck. But yeah, electric walkouts, electric fight, electric card. Even if a lot of my picks were incorrect, even if a lot of my favorite fighters lost, for my first live in-person UFC event, just such a night to remember, honestly. So amazing. And I'm so glad for my family that lives near the Orlando area, that were able to, kind of keep me at their place, able to feed me, able to take me to Chipotle's and to the stadiums. Just such a fun weekend, honestly. Even the train rides were fire. Even if they were long, like they weren't shaky or none of that. No, there were no like yelling, screaming kids. The Wi-Fi was amazing. Let me tell you, the Wi-Fi was crazy. But yeah, I'm just rambling, bro. Like, being back at school now, it's like, back to normal. But what a weekend to remember. I had fun. I truly had fun. And this video is long as fuck. I know nobody made it to this point. I didn't even get half of the winners here. In my Njakuku versus Kutalaba picks, I got them all right, bro. I got them all right. I got like 6 or 7 of 7 picks. No, it was 6 of 6 picks. I got them all right. But yeah, it don't matter to me. I had so much fun, and I can't wait for UFC 282. These next few videos, they gonna be crazy. Whoo, UFC Orlando. Such a great night. Loved it so much.